So, going along with the plan of talking about small and mid-sized publishers, first of all, I'll say the PDF is dead. Long live the PDF. And for people who want another option, that would be going to the web. And we're seeing this more and more. And what we're seeing is truly useful content is going to enable social interaction and work among researchers. It's going to extend off that printed page out of the PDF in the form of extended data sets, ancillary research. It's a format that needs to be in an unlocked presentation and unlocked from the printed page, and the introduction of interactivity to that content is something that brings value in terms of the research process and the peer reviewing process. So we're thinking about this in the fact that the majority of journal articles are still PDF. Even researching this became an exercise in finding PDFs. And a lot of people are still working with print. But a lot of people are starting to move to modern web technologies because they are enabling a lot of interactive features, including linking, those interactive data sets, the ability to do social annotations. If you've ever read a Medium article, you've seen the social annotations and margins. Blog comments usually happen at the end of the blog, but then you have to kind of flip back and forth to find a context. Talking about a new way of doing things. We're also talking about including animated and 3D object displays or an overall enhancement for the content usefulness in terms of the research experience and in terms of the peer reviewing experience. So we're not talking about getting rid of the PDF. Obviously, not going to happen. What we are talking about is, in addition to the PDF, for those people who want to work in a web-based environment and want to have access to the links and have access to interactivity, or who are doing peer review and get paid nothing to do that peer review and want to be able to see, say, the data and the chart and the context all at one time, we started doing some experimenting. And what we did was we unbound the content from the journal page. So instead of the content being part of the page, the content is now the code. And that's something I'm taking directly from education publishing, where in the EduPub community, we're talking about the content as the code as well. It's easier to get at. If you think of it as an exploded diagram, you have a world, and then you explode it out, and then you can get at all the individual parts of the content and do interesting things with it. So a couple of examples, as I mentioned, rendering the text and data, set exhibits, the figures, hyperlinks, moving through the workflows for peer review, and adding annotations that are not changing the core article. They're additional to the article. And so this is going to change some workflows as people go on. But that's something that you have to talk about as you start thinking about, hey, are we going to do this interactive thing, or are we going to go to the web? So the researchers want a more immediate and immersive experience with the content. And the researchers also want a more optimal user experience. So we're going to treat that content kind of as an application programming interface. So it's dynamic rather than static. So it's all about presentation content and context. What we've done is we have used the eLife Lens framework, which is a completely open source framework, and we've used HTML5 objects and libraries to create interactive charts, which switch between chart view and tabular data. Will let you show and hide data. You can look at specific data points. You can change data to see how it affects the rest of the chart. This framework renders math ML, so you have accessibility. We've put in some ability to do 3D objects. Multimedia comes with the framework, so you can do audio and video. And we've also got the ability to render complex tables in an accessible way as well. So you wind up with article information, author information, your interactive charts. You get your figures or tables that you can browse all at once or in context. You get your MathML as MathML that you can do things with, and you get your annotation tools. So we're basically solving the problem of disjointed reading and analysis that need to have three things in front of you or to flip back and forth from window to window to window. having flipped back and forth from a bunch of windows myself doing this, I can tell you that's a pain. So here's a little bit of a diagram of what we've done. If you're familiar with the ULife Lens framework, it basically gives you a lot of navigation tools right out of the box. If you display a figure, it shows you where that figure is in the various different locations. You click on the link, it takes you to the figure. You click on the figurehead, takes you to the link, and then you can see from navigation bars on the side where it is in the context of the rest of the article. The same thing with table callouts in text. So you see that the navigation bar on the left shows you where the table actually is in the article. The link in the content actually will take you right over to the table, and then you can review things side by side. Then we have these charts. When you hover over, and it's not obvious from here, when you hover over a certain point in the chart, you will see the data point or the value at that point, and you can change those. You can drag and move them around. If you go to a table view, the values that you've changed in the chart will go to the table view, and you can also turn pieces of the data on and off as you go. We also have full annotation tools with each of these modules. So you can scribble on them, you can highlight them, you can save a screenshot of them. So it's nascent annotation, but it's getting closer to that idea of open annotation. We are working on that right-hand column annotation. And the last thing we have is support for 3D objects. So if you would like to talk about the workflow and how we can partner with you to make this happen, come to Aptara booth 200, and I can show you a live demo and put you in touch with one of our business development people. Thank you.